Hello traders, welcome back. We are going to take a look at what are the expectations for tomorrow and what are the different support and resistance areas that we have for tomorrow, and tomorrow being September 24th, 2024. Before we start, if you are liking the content of these videos, please like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and please click on the notification icon. The charts that we will be discussing right now, all the multi-time frame charts, the read-only links to all those charts are given in the description below. Along with that, you will also find the link to our free Discord server as well as our Facebook page. You are very welcome to join there. Let us again start at the monthly chart. If we break this down, the price can actually continue towards the lower 5700, and the first support that we have on the monthly chart will be at 5670. Now this is pretty far away. There will be much more support areas right before we hit 5670, which we will be seeing in the lower time frames. Again, on the upside, we have to take out this 93 to the 97 area, hold the price there, and then we can see the rest of the moves to the upside. So today also we did not break any of the major lows down, so the bulls are still active. We have the consumer confidence news at 10 o'clock tomorrow, and if we are coming down a few legs based on that, we will have to look for a wedge formation. We will have to look at the different support areas that can bounce the price, and then try and see if the market is trying to reverse and push back up. But again, that 73 to 83 area or the 85 area, that has been working as a very good area of resistance. So we will have to be careful around that. We need to see that the price is actually strongly breaking out. If you look at today's price action, all the bars were having wicks at the top, wicks at the bottom. The volume was not that great. But since we did not break out any of the major lows, I'm still expecting that the bulls may actually continue the journey to the upside, but for that we have to see that we are breaking out of that 83 to the 85 area, the previous ATH, and then if we can come to the 96 to the 97 area and break out of it and get to 5802, that will be the first target. After that, we will try to get to the 10 to 13 area. The next target will be the 18 to 21 area, and then we will have to see if we are getting above that 5824 line and finally getting to that 5836 measured move target that we have to the upside. Now we also need to remember that we have actually hit the monthly ATR target, right? So if we are unable to get above that, we may actually stay in some kind of a trading range also for the next of the week. So as long as the breakout is not strong enough above the 9793 area, then it is highly possible that the price will not have a very strong move to the upside and continue in this trading range for some time between the 5730 or 5740 and the 5780 area, and then we will have to see which side that market is breaking out. It is also possible that the market is distributing at this point of time and they are looking for a two-legged correction, so that will depend on how the market is breaking out, where we are closing the price tomorrow at the end of the day, and based on all those events we can answer the subsequent questions about in which direction the market is going. At this point of time, we are still steadily moving up, and I'm expecting the market will go up further. Now the weekly chart is also pretty similar. We did come down very close to this 5743 line, which was the beginning of which was the open of this particular red weekly candle. That was the first strong red weekly candle that we had for after a long time. So we came down there, but we immediately bounced, which means that this particular area is being held by the bulls. So they are trying to hold on to this breakout, and we have closed somewhere in the 5773 area again. Now if you remember the 5773 to the 5780 or 82 area, that has been a very stubborn resistance. We did go above that. We tried to get to the 5785 area but failed. We came down around 20-30 points after that, and then we closed somewhere to the 5773 area. So now after this particular breakout that we had, we have a follow through bar. Although this is an inside bar, it still has a higher close compared to this bar. So the market is still bullish, and throughout the day today we saw that every dip that went below the 20 EMA was brought back by the bulls. Although the buying attempt was not spectacular or not very strong, but they have continuously created higher lows, and they have not taken out any of the major lows that we have at this point on the chart. So keeping an eye on this, if we can get above this 8587 area tomorrow, we can come to this 5797.5 line or to this 5800.25 line, which is the top of this particular wedge. That will be a very good profit taking target. I may actually keep some runner here with the expectation of getting to the levels on the higher side with a raised stop loss. But then we will have to see whether 5800 is rejecting strongly, and if 5800 rejects strongly, then we can have a few legs to the downside as well. Now on the weekly chart, again, this 5743.75, this line becomes very important. If we break this line, we can very easily come down to this 5731 line, which is also a lower time frame line that we have, and below that we can get to this 5718 to the 21 area. I will keep a line marked here at this point of time. This is the 5718 to the 21 area, and below that we can actually come down to the lower 5700s at 5700, followed by 5692, 5685, and subsequently we can come down to the 5669 areas as well. Now one more line that I will keep in mind is the 5733 area, which happens to be the midpoint of the previous week, and if we break down this 44 area, we can even bounce from the 33 area. If we do not bounce from the 33 area, then I will be actually looking at 24 and then 21 to 28 and then to the levels to the downside. So those are the different support and resistance levels that we have on the weekly chart. Let us now move on to the daily chart. Now, just like the previous chart that we had on the monthly and the weekly basis, there is not much change on the daily chart as well, except the fact that this was an inside bar. We did go above the inside bar, thereby starting another leg to the upside, but we have not held on to that. Now, if we are breaking down this 5746 area tomorrow, another leg to the downside will actually start. So we will have to see how far that leg can go down. We need to remember that this 5716, 5715 area is the low of this particular daily channel. So if the price comes there and starts bouncing, maybe even at the 19 area, if the price bounces from there and goes above and sits on the 31 or the 33 level, at that point of time I will start believing that this was a false breakout to the downside, and the price will actually reverse and get back to the top. However, if we get another breakdown here, then that pullback will actually turn into a bear flag, and the price may actually target the levels on the lower side of the 5700s and then come down further to the 5586 or the 76 areas as well. Now if we are holding this particular low, even if we do a double bottom here and then we break out that 5785, we will be looking at a target of 5818 on the upside, which will be equivalent to this particular pullback. Since we had a new leg to the upside at this point, I will and if we are breaking that out, we are breaking out of this 5797 area. This 5818 may actually be a very good target for the bulls on the daily chart, and then we will finally see if we are getting to that 5836 level to the upside. So again, not much change on the daily chart. We will have to keep an eye on all these levels. We came down below this 62.5 level, which was the midpoint of this channel, and then went back up again and closed around the 73, 74 area. So if you look at the volume was really low today. So tomorrow we will have to see how the 10 o'clock news treats the price, what is the reaction of the market to the consumer confidence report, and then we can decide which way the market is swaying. With that, now let us move on to the 4-hour intraday chart. So as you see from the chart, the market is in a very tight trading range, right? So if we see that we had this first leg up, we came down once again, and we had the second leg to the upside, and then we had one more leg to the downside as well on the 4-hour chart. So we will have to see where the market opens up tomorrow, and based on that, we will take a decision on how we are going to trade for the rest of the day. But again, we will have to wait for the consumer confidence report. This area at this point of time is acting as a very good resistance. This is from 5785.25 to the 5779.25 area. Actually, you can say that it is the 73 area as well. Now we want the price to break out of this area and keep going to the upside, and then we can see that if we are reaching this 5794 to the 98 area, I will keep a box here at this point of time, and then we will actually see if the price keeps on moving higher beyond this particular wedge line, and then we can actually get to this wedge line sometime during the week. Now, on the downside, this 5761.75 line or the 5761.5 line, this has been a very good support, right? So, how many ever times the 4-hour chart has closed below that, we have bounced from there and we have come up to the top. If you look at this, the overnight bars actually came below the 4-hour 20 EMA here and we bounced back up, but we failed to create a bull bar. So, this area is actually making me think that the bulls may not be able to cross over this area, but you never know, right? If they're strong enough. And after the very slow day that we had today, we can expect a real good move tomorrow, maybe to the upside or to the downside. That will depend on how the consumer confidence report shapes the structure of the market, and based on that, we can decide on our trades. I would actually like to stay away from the market till that 10 o'clock news comes out, because the consumer confidence report is a very important report for the market and it actually moves the market to a large extent. Now, if we are breaking down this 5761, then we can come to this 5755 area. As we were talking earlier, below that 5755, we may find support in the 5748 to the 45 area. If we break it down, we can come back to this 5739 to the 5733 zone, breaking down which we will come back to this previous breakout area at the 5724, and below that we have the 5712 area or the 13 area as the target. And if we are breaking down the 5700, then we can actually find ourselves somewhere between 5690 and 92, and failing which the next area of support will be at 5682, and then we can come down to this 5665 areas once again. But then we will have to see what is happening if we are breaking down of the EMA on the 4-hour chart, what is happening if we are breaking down this particular trend line, and what is happening when the price is coming and touching this particular trend line once again. The third touch here will actually create a wedge to the downside and we can see some movement up again. Now, the market is in an uptrend, and so any of these support lines can have the bulls come out once again and start pushing the market up. So we will have to keep an eye on the false breakdowns on each of these support areas. But if this final 5724 area breaks down and we fail to reverse back up, and then we have a big move to the downside, it's highly possible that we will come and see the 5700 to the 5692 areas once again, and then we will see if we are breaking it down and getting it towards the 5685 or the 5680 areas where bulls may be present once more. So on the 1 hour chart right now, we have a diamond structure here, right? So now we want this price to actually move above this 5785 based on this diamond structure and then keep moving up, right? We have to see that the top of the diamond structure is being taken out. And if the top of the diamond structure is being taken out, then the measured move to the upside will be somewhere in the 5807 area, which will bring us to the top of this particular box that we have to the upside. Now we will also have to see in which way this price is breaking out, and if the breakout is actually holding. Once it breaks out in either direction, I will actually extend this particular line to the upside and this particular line to the downside in order to keep a tab on the support and resistance that these lines may create. Now on the 1 hour chart, if you see here, after this drop, we had the first leg up, we had the second leg up, and we had the third leg up. After that, this was the first leg down and this was the second leg down. And now we have done 3 bars to the upside. So at this point of time, this is not a very good bar for the bulls, but then we'll have to see how the market opens, how the market stays open overnight. And if overnight, if we are getting above this 5785 area, then overnight itself, we can try and get to these highs. And then we will see if the market is continuing to go up. So if you want to trade that during the Asia or the London session, you can have very good setups above the 5785 area if the price manages to break above it. Now on the 1 hour chart also, this 5761.25 line is very important. We will have all these trend lines drawn on the 1 hour chart as well, just to make sure that we know that if we are short, these may be the good areas to take some profits, or otherwise if we are breaking down this 5751 area, then we may see the low of this particular bar that happened yesterday overnight at around 5743. And if we are breaking down this 5743, then we saw what are the targets that we have on the downside, and the final one being at the 5724 to the 21 area, breaking down which we can easily come down to this 5701 area or the lower 5700s to the downside. So that is all on the 1 hour chart for now. Let us look at the final piece of the puzzle, which is the 5-minute chart. So on the 5 minute chart, first of all, we will have these different trend lines drawn so that we know what are the support areas that we have, or the probable support areas that we have on the downside. And on the upside, we also have this particular trend line which hit where the price hit this trend line at 5783. We actually went above that at the 5784 area but could not hold it and came back down, and thereby we have this particular trend line. Now it will be very important to see that the price goes above this trend line, holds this, and then goes above this 5785 area in order to move up to the targets to the upside that we have. Now if you see here, we went up here for the first time, we failed. We went up here for the second time, we failed. We went up here for the third time, we failed, and then we have come here for the fourth time as well, but we failed again in this particular area, and I will mark this as a sell zone at this point of time. This whole area has been acting as a sell zone, and I'll have it colored that way. So if we now we need price to be above this in order to move up. Now on the downside, again, we'll have to break out this the 6-1 to the 6-4 area, and then we can actually come down to this 5755 line. If we break down this 5755 line and we are breaking this particular trend line support, then our next target will be in the 4-6 to the 4-5 area. If we do not bounce from here, then we are definitely coming down to the 3-8 to the 4-0 and then to the 3-1 line. And if we do not bounce from here again and the bears want another leg down, that will take us to the 24 to the 21 area, and from there we will have to see if the market wants to go farther down to the 5700s, or we see reversal attempts and we can get on that and we can come up to this 5755 or the 5760 areas once again. So that is all the analysis that we have for now. Based on these, we will come back again tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST to decide on the pre-market plan. If you want to be on that call, the link to the Google Meet is given in the description below. This is where I will end the video tonight, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of the night, everyone. Bye.